It was December 4, 1926. The longest-running intersectional college football series would begin. Notre Dame and Southern California. That was 6 years before the famous peristyle would grace the skyline of Exposition Park in Los Angeles, and the Coliseum would become one of the great sports arenas of the world. The University of Southern California wanted the series. Notre Dame's crafty coach Knut Rockne took his time accepting the invitation, but he finally agreed, and the games across the 76 years of play have given the history book of college football some of its finest chapters. This will be the 11th time the outcome of a game between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Southern California Trojans will have impact on the national championship of college football. Number 76 coming up here on ABC Sports. And welcome to the ADT Spotlight game. This one of those games that can cause the faithful to hyperventilate if they're not careful. It's Notre Dame in Southern California. Some still say this is the game where Walter Mitty first appeared. Once again, the collegiate championship could be affected. So could the Heisman and several other trophies. And like one of the Trojans said the other day, better not get too deep into this history and tradition stuff. It can mess with your head. Win the game first. And the Los Angeles Coliseum is sold out, and Traveler is on the run. The weather, showers, temperature in the 50s. It'll get colder, and it may get wetter before the evening is done. Hello again, I'm Keith Jackson, along with Dan Fouts, Todd Harris, reporting from the field. Southern California, Dan, has been ranked at the top of the polls all season long. Notre Dame unranked. Both have had 2 weeks off, time to heal, but are they still sharp?
Well, I know the Trojans are sharp. They're well rested, and Keith, they are loaded. They will come out with all weapons for the Irish tonight. In quarterback Matt Leinart, they have a most consistent performer. He's a touchdown throwing machine. 61 TD passes in just 23 starts over the last 2 seasons, and Leinart is a winner. He's lost only once in those 23 games. Part of the reason the Trojans are #1 in the country is this man, Reggie Bush. Bush is a threat to score every time he touches the ball, and those touches come from everywhere, as a kick returner, as a receiver, and as a runner. There is no more dynamic runner in college football than the Trojans' number 5, Keith.
Well, what about Notre Dame, the player and or players who can make a difference?
Well, for Notre Dame, it's going to revolve around the quarterback position. How well Brady Quinn plays on offense and how well that Irish defense disrupts the play of Trojan quarterback Matt Leinart. Quite simply for Brady Quinn, he must play the game of his life. Avoid interceptions and fumbles, convert on 3rd down, and lead his team when the going gets tough, because it will get tough. Notre Dame can beat USC if they play as they did against Tennessee and get after Matt Leinart with their pass rush. Force Leinart to throw moving to his right, knock him down after he throws, and generally affect the timing of the Trojan passing game. The Irish won on the road at Tennessee with this formula. And Keith, it could work tonight.
And this is the 30th anniversary of that famous turnaround game. Here's the rain starting to come down. Yes, there have been upsets too. Who knows what'll happen on this night? Now let's join the guys at our studio in New York, John, Craig, and Aaron.
And welcome to the Hartford Mutual Fund's pregame show. As we head towards this game, the #1 team in the nation you would think would have an easy time of it. But Notre Dame's been schizophrenic this year. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah, they have been, John, but word out of South Bend is that the Irish have had their best week of practice this week. Tyrone Willingham has got those guys sharp. He's going to have them ready. So we're going to see how that translates out to the field today, because they're going to be tested, especially defensively.
Big games usually comes down to who has the best quarterback on the field, right? That secondary will be going against Matt Leinart. So the Irish better show up, get off the bus with their defense ready to go, and they better bring their running game. If the Irish show up and if they're not physical, they got no shot whatsoever in this game. Matt Leinart will get after them.
Headed towards the final weekend of the season and some big games played.
Well, the weather may become part of the story of this ball game. With the fog or haze moving in, it looks like we have relocated to the moors for this year's game. But right now, let's go to the field and spend a moment with Todd Harris.
All right, Keith, well, not to state the obvious, but It's wet. It has been raining persistently since about 1 o'clock Pacific time. Now, it let off just about an hour and a half ago, and it looked like we're going to have clear sailing, but the folks who are experts in this say not the case. We're going to have intermittent rain throughout the night, and another problem that may arise is the wind. The field is in great condition. I talked to the groundskeepers. They said it is great because it has not rained that much over the last week or two. The only spot really has been a problem here is that far left corner, and that's pretty much dirt covered with red paint. But other than that, it's great. Both equipment managers say they are fully equipped with whatever footwear they need, but right now, they don't think it's going to be a problem, and we should have a very fast track. Keith.
That is the Southern California band behind Todd there. They're wearing their rain suits. That's why they have that ethereal look to them. Notre Dame won the toss, deferred to the second half. That means Southern California will have the ball first, and that means Matt Leinart will be pulling the trigger first on the Southern Cal offense. It's in this rain, and who knows what can happen when the ball gets wet and slick.
And perhaps the most significant statistic starting this game, SC has fumbled 22 times this year. They've lost half of those, and Reggie Bush recently has had trouble hanging onto the ball. Perhaps that's the reason why Willingham decides to put SC on offense and not on defense to start this game. I'm not so sure it's a good decision, but under these conditions, perhaps it could be.
We have a Big Ten crew officiating the ball game tonight. Steve Payman is the referee. Reggie Bush was the deep man that they want to have the ball. DJ Fitzpatrick will kick it off. Desmond Reese is back there with Reggie Bush, and it's hard to see the ball through the haze and the rain. And it is Jason Leach on a fair catch call of a short kick as they pooch it down the field. Whether it was intentional pooch, I don't know. But it didn't go very far, and Southern California will possess it right on the 25-yard line. Matt Leinart this season, 203 out of 309. That's 66%. 23 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. In his career, 23 starts, 61 touchdowns, and they are 22-1. Enough said. Lindale White, the big back, is the deep man in the single back set, and Leinart pops up throwing, and running to the outside is the tight end Dominique Bird, a very athletic big guy, but the Irish defender was able to get to him before he really got his engine running. Look at the FedEx starting lineups now. There's Lindale White, the tailback. Reggie Bush will be in there at times in the same position. Holmes, Mitchell, and Jarrett. Dwayne Jarrett is the one who has emerged. The offensive line for Southern California still maturing, anchored by Calif. Matua is turning into a really good player. And Leinart back again, throwing to the sidelines. Man is there, and he's right on the boundary, but the catch is good. Dwayne Jarrett, a 19-year-old freshman out of New Brunswick, New Jersey, and he's playing very, very well.
And 40th catch of the year for the true freshman, Dwayne Jarrett. Watch how mature he is at the end of this. Aware that he must get those feet down inbounds, does so with ease. And how far off was the defensive back, Quentin Burrell, on number 8, Dwayne Jarrett? Way off.
One of the seasoned players is back from a broken leg, Steve Smith, a seasoned sophomore, but he was the go-to guy when he got hurt. And having him back gives them another weapon. Leinart continues to throw and continues to complete and picks up another first down. That pass completed to Dwayne Jarrett, brought down by Freddie Parrish, the fourth. The Fighting Irish defensive front is one of the fears of Pete Carroll. He's not sure they can control them all night long, but Tuck is the man who leads the charge. The backers are good, anchored by Goldsby. The secondary is where you might make a little hay grow, because they have been vulnerable to the forward pass at times this season. Reggie Bush is into the ball game now, and he's out there as a wide receiver on 1st down and 10. Throw it to him, one-on-one. And he takes him on, and he thought he might just blow Freddie Parrish away, but he couldn't do it. And the young fella from Redondo Beach stood his ground with Bush and brought him down after a 3-yard pickup.
And that's why Freddie Parrish is making the start at corner in favor of Preston Jackson, because he's a big physical player. Number 2, Parrish, 6 foot, 200 pounds, and he just stops Bush in his tracks. Good play, good start for Freddie Parrish, making his first start at corner.
Change the formation, put him in a bunch. Bring a man in motion. That's Bush. That makes him a wide receiver. Go the other way. The pass is incomplete. It was intended for Dwayne Jarrett, defended by Freddie Parrots. I'll tell you one thing. That looks to me like the Trojans are going to make Freddie earn his supper, because they've gone at him on virtually every play so far.
Yeah, which is unusual for a left-handed quarterback to be throwing to the right side of the field. But when you've got fresh meat out there, as Parrish is, first time he's played corner, normally a safety. First 5 plays for the Trojans, 4 passes, 1 run. That one lateral to Bush was considered a running play.
3rd down and 7. Leinart drops deep, gets the ball away. The ball gets loose and hits the ground. Incomplete. It went right through Glendale White, and so the wetness may already be having some impact. It looked like it on that one.
Well, the reason the Trojans are throwing is because you talked about the secondary of Notre Dame. They're averaging giving up over 260 yards a game through the air.
Carlisle Holiday is waiting for it, Dan, a former quarterback. He's turned into a pretty good punt returner. And the kick is away by Tom Malone. Over Carlisle's head, it's like a good 6-iron. From 180 yards, he screws it right into the ground and kills it at the Irish 7-yard line. So they will start deep in their own territory for their first snap.
Into the game now with Enhanced TV at ESPN.com and interact for your chance to win a premium SUV.
We come back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The first offensive play of the ball game for Notre Dame now. They're down on their own 7-yard line. Brady Quinn, the quarterback, steps, short drop, puts some air under the ball to the sidelines. The ball is caught by Maurice Stovall. Stovall is 6'5", 227, and he's got a big play out of this one. Move the chains out to the 25.
And he might have got away with a little bit of a shove here at the end of it. Didn't really have to. A perfectly thrown ball. That's that underthrown deep ball that Stovall is so good at going up and getting it. 6'5" over the 5'11" Eric Wright.
So it is a first down. They pick up 18 yards on their first snap of the ball game. Out at the 25 now. Quinn sets him. He hands this one away, and here's the first run of the night, and it is Ryan Grant, the senior tailback, who plays in front of a big freshman tailback, and they both can hammer you. The number and story on Brady Quinn so far this season: he is from Dublin, Ohio, which is just a few miles down the road from the Ohio State University campus. 14 touchdowns against 9 interceptions. Matt Shelton is down at the bottom of the picture. He is the speedster for the Irish and has a knack for the long ball. Going back toward the ball right here. Now he's on a full-blown route down the middle of the field, but they go to the left side and complete a short pass to Jerome Collins, a tight end, where Matt Grudegood makes the tackle. The backs and receivers for the Irish starting lineup brought to you by FedEx. Ryan Grant, as I told you, will share time with Darius Walker. Anthony Fasano, a tight end, is a big, big guy, and Stovall is the ball jump guy. He's 6'5". The offensive front, quite good, anchored by the big center, John Sullivan. So it's first down. And the ball is handed to Grant again, and Grant comes back this way and is 9 yards up the field. So Notre Dame now starting this possession on their own 7-yard line is nearing midfield and putting pressure on the Southern California defensive front of Patterson and Cody in the middle with Jackson and Rucker on the outside. Linebackers Sarts, Tatupu, and Grutegood, and the defensive secondary for Southern California. Darnell Bing is the biggest guy there, but they've got other people healthy now, and they're going to get some of the guys who have been injured back to play tonight. Second down and 1 with Darius Walker into the backfield, and the pitch thrown up the field to the tight end Fasano. Anthony Fasano is 6'4", 256 pounds. Will put the ball down on the SC side of the field. First down at the Trojan 32.
Another misdirection play for the Irish. A little play action, trying to move the launch pocket of the pocket for Brady Quinn. After the fake here, he rolls out. He's got 2 receivers, Josh Schmidt and Fasano. Schmidt now becomes a convoy as Fasano shows his strength to a very solid tackling Dallas Sarts.
Make it the 33 where they put the ball, and it's first down for the Irish. And their first possession is impressive. No defensive penetration yet. Now you get a little bit. The ball is thrown away and dropped. It is dropped by Darius Walker coming out of the backfield, the tailback. They were trying to swing it out, but Mike Patterson got in the picture of things, and also getting some pressure was Frosty Rucker coming from the outside on the quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's what Notre Dame wants. They want this man to come free and just throw the ball over his head. The unfortunate thing for Notre Dame is that the ball was thrown behind Darius Walker by Brady Quinn because he had blockers out in front. This is a most impressive opening drive for the Irish.
Second down and 10. Walker, the freshman, has it. And he runs right out of the grasp of Dallas Sarch and Tatupu it was, Lofa Tatupu. And I thought he had him back around the line of scrimmage, and he just kept on pounding and got away from him. He's a 200-pound freshman out of Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yeah, Tatupu is the Trojans' leading tackler, but you couldn't tell it by this effort right here. Darius Walker's only 5'11", 200 pounds, but he gets his legs driving and sets up Notre Dame in a very desirable third down and short situation.
That it was Jimmy Lee Walker. He played for Lou Holtz at Arkansas. There's Walker again. And that's the first down. Notre Dame moved the football down near the Southern California 21-yard line. First down for the Irish. That time Tatupu did get the tackle.
You know, Keith, you talked at the beginning of the show about whether SC would be sharp or not. They are not sharp on defense. Watch another broken tackle here as Darius Walker drops Darnell Bing. Now, Bing is not a small guy. He's 220 pounds. So right now, Notre Dame is taking the fight to the Trojans.
Here's a comment we had from, we'll give you after the play here, that Bill Diedrich gave us yesterday, having to do with what we're watching. Marcus Wilson checks into the backfield now. He is, of all the tailbacks, the one that throws the ball the best, I'm told. And Brady Quinn had all day to set up and look around, and again a tackle is missed by Southern California as Marcus Wilson comes out of the backfield and puts it inside the 10, and it'll be first and goal for Notre Dame. Here's what Diedrich had to say about the Irish offense.
I believe we can run the football against these guys, and I believe that if we can keep it where we want it, and keep them off balance, we've got a chance.
Well, they are certainly off balance right now. Great mixture of plays by Bill Diedrich and execution by the Irish offense.
Unbalanced to the right. They go back to Grant from the tailback spot, and he just simply drops a shoulder and pounds right in behind the left guard and left tackle and moves it inside the 5.
Grant, 3 rushes, 22 yards. Walker, 2 rushes for 12 yards. And that offensive line, as we saw in the previous play, able to pass protect for Brady Quinn and just overpowering the very strong SC defensive line.
Second down and goal. Grant. Line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard. Stood up by Lawrence Jackson and Mike Patterson.
This is the 11th play of this drive and the first play that SC has stopped Notre Dame. Good job there, just skating along the line of scrimmage by Sean Cody. Lawrence Jackson there to meet the runner as well.
The ball is right on the 5. It is third down and goal for the Irish. Quinn looking to throw. Does. Short of the goal line. Ball is caught by Carlisle Holiday, who had come in at a wide receiver position. They get him down just inside the 2, and it'll be fourth down and goal.
And Notre Dame's going to go for it. They've got all the momentum, and Brady Quinn agrees with this call. Good pass protection again but this route is designed a little bit short of the goal line. Nice catch there for Carlisle Holiday, but the first huge play of this ball game coming up.
Just over a yard. Jarrett Clark, a tight end, has come in. He is a principal protector for the Irish quarterback, and he's hanging around in his neighborhood. He turns around. Quinn looking to throw. Has a man wide open. Touchdown. Billy Palmer.
Another brilliant call by Bill Dietrich as they fake the power play to the right side, and it's the throwback to the tight end right here. Watch Palmer come across. Great fake by Quinn, and Palmer just fighting his way through traffic. Easy score for the Irish, and what an opening drive.
DJ Fitzpatrick in for the point. It's good. And so the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame start on their own 7-yard line. They held USC in their first possession. The Irish go 93 yards and lead 7-0.
Notre Dame on top, 7-0. Let's take a look at our Jeep rushing playbook. And it's all about attitude for Notre Dame on this impressive 13-play drive. This is an unblocked middle linebacker, Lofa Tutupu. This is all about desire right here as Darius Walker makes a move, lowers his shoulder, gets by him, and picks up more yards. Not only did the Irish rush the ball impressively on that drive, but Brady Quinn was 6 out of 7. Those 6 completions to 6 different receivers. That's what you call a good mixture, Keith.
It is a huge wake-up call for the top-ranked team in the country. And upsets are not uncommon in this series. I noted that early on, and it is not. Here comes Reed, Desmond Reed. Number 22 will get it across the 30 and out to the 33. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by ESPN 2K5 video games this season. Score big with the entire line. Chrysler, inspiration comes standard. Homemade Chex Party Mix, like a handful of memories. The Hartford Mutual Funds, official corporate partner of the NCAA, and AOL for broadband, proud sponsor of First and 10. Now in your face, USC. Let's see what you can do with it. Leinart turns and hands the ball away to Lendale White. Lendale White is a sophomore out of Denver at 235 pounds. He is a thumper. He gained, however, on that carry 2 yards.
And really, that's the first running play for SC. They went with the 2 backs, had a fullback in front of White. The previous rush was that backwards pass to Reggie Bush. It appears that SC is trying to change their attitude with that first play of this drive.
They line up with a fullback. Double tight end. Irish jump all over the ball carrier White. Greg Pulley was the first to get there for the white shirts. It will be a fight.
Here's number 77, Greg Pauley, working against Fred Matua. And right now Notre Dame not only is stronger, more intense, they're a lot quicker off the ball, both on their offensive line and their defensive line.
It is 3rd down and 8. Leinart passes away. Caught up at midfield on the ricochet by Jason Mitchell. Mitchell had gone outside and down the boundary and turned back in just as the ball bounced away from the first receiver and into the hands of the senior and moved the chains.
There's Mitchell. He was not the intended receiver. Ball should have been intercepted by Freddie Parrish, and if it had been, he might have taken it deep into Trojan territory. Bird gets his right hand on it, just enough to get it over the head of Parrish and into the hands of Mitchell.
Just short of midfield. Leinart comes this way with the ball and throws that one high, and it's almost intercepted. Intended for Steve Smith and thrown high. And I had the feeling Leinart might have been hurrying a little bit that time.
Yeah, and you also got to wonder about the ball. You know, the referees have towels. They're drying the ball off each time. This is William Buchanan here. Elliott coming off his coverage when he saw this overthrown ball. But right now, Leinart 2 passes in a row could have and should have been intercepted for a guy that's only been picked off 5 times all year.
2nd down and 10. Reggie Bush is on the far side. Leinart comes short with it. And he'll be looking at 3rd down and long. Steve Smith getting his first catch, and he got it in front of Zbikowski.
And the one thing Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator for the Irish, told us is that they have to play smart on defense and not get into a situation where they're going to expose their corners. So you're going to see a lot of zone out of Baer and the Irish because they want to try to contain all these athletic receivers that the Trojans have.
Reggie Bush now becomes the single back on 3rd down and 5. Leinart into the middle it goes, and the pass is caught, and it is good for the first down, caught by Alex Holmes, the tight end. It'll go inside the 40 of Notre Dame and be first down at about the 38-yard line.
And just a hook route for Alex Holmes working against Goolsby. Here they are right here. Watch how quickly Leinart gets back, makes his decision, and throws the ball about 12 yards over the middle for that first down for SC.
Well, call it the 39. It's just inside. Leinart still got it. Squares up and throws, and it is complete to Alex Holmes, the big tight end. There's another Trojan first down to the Irish 26-yard line. Kyle Budenczak made the tackle along with Derek Curry. Derek Curry is out of Sealy, Texas, one of the linebackers.
Yeah, Alex Holmes all of a sudden becoming the go-to guy for SC. Came into the game with just 19 catches. The other tight end, Dominic Byrd, is more of the pass receiving tight end for the Trojans. There he is.
Bush and White are in the same backfield. White deep. Now Bush moves out, and White gets it. Everywhere Lindale White has gone so far tonight, there has been a lot of traffic. Sort of reminded me of 405 the other day. Monday night, Al Michaels and John Madden will be at historic Lambeau Field. Brett Favre and the Packers going for their 6th straight win as they take on Marshall Faulk and the Rams. That'll be at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific here on ABC, Monday Night Football.
That number there, 200 consecutive starts, is unbelievable.
It is, isn't it? He's made out of hamstrings and old leather.
A lot of old leather.
Louisiana tough.
Mississippi tough, too.
Mississippi tough, yeah. That. Well, there's another tight end involved, Dominic Byrd. He's seeing the ball a lot tonight. Behind him is another big collection of people that can do a lot with it. Alex Holmes, of course, has seen the ball.
Yeah, the one thing they like to do is throw the quick screen to the tailback, but this time they switch it up. They're going to throw the quick screen over the middle to Dominic Byrd, but Goolsby is right there, but the defensive line comes off. Just a heads-up play there by Landry.
Last time we had a rain on a USC football game was 1987. Somebody's missed some communications here lately. It's 3rd down and 5. The ball thrown. It is incomplete and almost intercepted again, and there's a penalty flag thrown on the far side of the field. Preston Jackson defending on Reggie Bush, and the pass was not on target. Bush actually was available.
And Bush upset that he didn't bring this in after tipping it up in the air, but perhaps Reggie was moving before the snap.
Illegal formation on the offense. Less than 7 men on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, let's see what Pete Carroll decides to do. Is he going to shake out the place kicker, and who will he send out?
Yeah, it'll be Ryan Killeen, but he has struggled this year, just hitting 7 of his 16 field goals.
Mario Danello was very prominent in the warm-ups tonight, but Killeen gets the call, and it's been his job, and he has not lost it. So this is from 39 yards. And it's good. And so Southern California settles for 3 in this possession as they got away with a couple of tip balls that could have gone the other way. Welcome back to the Los Angeles Coliseum and the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT. Southern California getting the 39-yard field goal to make it a 7-3 ball game. Notre Dame leading first quarter of play. Got a minute and 26 to go. And the Trojans will kick it off with Anastasio waiting for it along with Carlos Pemble. It's Anastasio. And he gets hammered at about the 15-yard line, maybe falls to the 16. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by AOL for Broadband, proud sponsor of First and 10. Along the front for Notre Dame, Harris, Morton, Sullivan, Stevenson, Lavore, and the tight end Fasano. And Fasano, is, when he wasn't catching, was blocking. That's an impressive group so far in this game.
Yeah, the Irish only had one negative play on that 13-play drive for their opening touchdown, thanks to that offensive line and those fellows you just mentioned.
Ryan Grant is the tailback. Brady Quinn gets a little heat, gets the ball away, goes deep with it, and it's incomplete. The ball was intended for Maurice Stovall and Eric Wright defending on the play, number 25, who's turning into one of the best DBs the Trojans have. He's played very well second half of the season. The concerns of Pete Carroll about what Notre Dame brings to the ballpark reflected in this comment from him.
They're playing very good run defense. They stay on top in the passing game. They're content hammering the football at you. They've got numbers that show you that they believe in running the ball. And then they added a big dimension to their offense and they're throwing the ball way down the field and having some success.
Well, they went way down the field that time and almost had success. Now here's the run. This is Ryan Grant, and he's got a big one. He's up near midfield before he is finally tracked down by Darnell Bing, and that's just simply good blocking, and in particular the tight end Fasano leading him down the field.
Yeah, let's take a look at Fasano, number 88. He's going to come all the way across here and make that key block, Keith. Heck of a job by Fasano right there. And then down the field, the wide receivers getting involved. There's Shelton. And another big play, momentum-building play of 32 yards for the Irish.
Darius Walker is in at tailback now as Grant, winded, goes out after that long run. And Walker, the freshman, skating around looking for somewhere to go, will get a yard maybe before Frosty Rucker and friends put him down.
Boy, Rashawn Powers-Neal, number 16, real lucky he didn't blow out his knee at the end of that play. He's going to come off the field right now. But Notre Dame just dominant on the ground. This is against an SC team that gives up an average of 69 yards rushing to their opponent for an entire game. Already in just 8 rushes, they've given up 65 yards.
Josh Schmidt has replaced Powers-Neal at fullback for the Irish. He's out of Germantown, Tennessee, which is next door to Knoxville. And time has gone in the first quarter of play. 7-3, Notre Dame leads Southern California. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC station. The rain is eased up for the moment, thank goodness. The ball is at the 48-yard line. Notre Dame owns it on their side of the field. Rima McKnight coming back toward the ball in for the first time in the ball game, and Brady Quinn rolls out, got a lot of grass in front of him, and he's going to run it and risk his body. And he took a pretty good lick from Darnell Bing, but he's about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short of his first down.
Oh, he'll learn though, Keith. He'll learn when that sideline is close like that to step out of bounds and not expose himself to injury. But this is what Bill Diedrich also told us, is that Quinn must run the ball today. He must scramble. He must make plays with his legs, as he did on that play.
It's third down and about 1.5 yards with Ryan Grant in the ball game at tailback.
Pete's got to be concerned about his rush defense, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. There's your first down. Just went pounding right up the middle, and there was plenty of daylight. Number 68 opened that hole for him. That was Ryan Harris, big tackle.
Yeah, they get so many of those big bodies involved in that short yardage. Billy Palmer with a key block as well, running right at the strength of SC in Mike Patterson and Sean Cody.
Ball is on the Southern California 41-yard line. Notre Dame's mounting another drive. They went 90, officially 92 yards, but it was within 3 inches of being 93. And the ball is slapped down at the line of scrimmage by Dallas Sarts.
Time for our Pacific Life game summary. We said Brady Quinn will have to play a perfect game. Well, first quarter, mission accomplished. He was 6 out of 7 on the drive for 59 yards and a touchdown pass. You can see moving the pocket, making Quinn get out. Little play action, the toss back on the touchdown to Billy Palmer. Impressive opening drive.
On this side of the field, you've got Carlisle Holiday and Matt Shelton, former quarterback and a speed runner. They go with a run to Ryan Grant, the senior tailback. And he's pounding in there, and he's going to have about a yard, maybe two. Sean Cody this time gets the call on the tackle.
Yeah, it's almost a matter of time when Quinn looks for Matt Shelton. He's averaging an incredible 29.7 yards per catch. He's caught 17 balls. 6 of them have been for touchdowns. I had a coach in San Diego by the name of Don Coryell, Keith, and he said, a guy with those types of numbers, we got to throw him the ball more.
Yeah, you throw him more, they'll start looking at him more, too.
That's okay. Just let him go.
Quinn takes off. Wide open. Everybody went to the other side of the field, and the Irish quarterback just simply took off down the field. That might have been a call play. It could have been either way, but what they had done was they had taken Shelton and Holiday and a couple of their wideouts and slanted them that way and stacked them on that side of the field. And look, that opened up as the tackle came back and got his block, and there was Brady Quinn with an open pasture.
Yeah, not often will Pete Carroll get burned when he's trying to bring a blitz, but he was burned that time. Jason Leach coming on the safety blitz was picked up, and Quinn had a huge run.
Darius Walker comes back in at tailback. So far, the Irish have been a play ahead of SC all night long, and Pete Carroll is the defensive coordinator. And Quinn with a play action look for the end zone, throws underneath to Jerome Collins, the tight end, and Collins will get thrown out of bounds somewhere in the neighborhood of the 12-13 yard line.
That was really a smart play by Quinn. He had a lot of time to shop deep looking for crossing routes, but he decides to go to a shorter receiver. Again, it's a misdirection to bring Collins back from the other side of the formation. You can see how much room Quinn had and how much time he had.
Jason Leach lost his hat in the tackle. This is Walker. And Walker meets Rucker. And he stops. Ball is at the 11.
You're noticing that Notre Dame is not running east and west against Pete Carroll's defense. Running between the tackles as touchdown Tyrone there signals a new formation. Straight up the field. Good job by SC just stuffing Big Bob Morton, not giving Walker anything.
Rain is back. Hard for the moment. Now they spread him out. Walker's deep. Quinn throws. Pass is incomplete. And the Trojan is Eric Wright, getting up a little slowly after the collision with Jerome Collins. But he did the job. He knocked the ball out.
Well, he's playing zone pass defense on the far right side of the screen. And he comes off. Perfect timing. Puts his helmet right on the ball. Ball was thrown behind Collins. If it's out in front, he might have made the catch.
And on 4th and 4, the Irish go for the field goal. 28 yards. DJ Fitzpatrick. And it's good. And it's 10-7, Notre Dame leading Southern California with 11:51 to play in the first half. 10-3 ball game. Notre Dame leading Southern California, and the Irish will kick it away now. And deep for Southern California, you've got Reggie Bush standing back on his own 5-yard line. The kick is short. They don't want Bush to get his hands on it if they can help it. He's caught at the 22 by Desmond Reed. Reed finds a little room and gets it up to about the 33-yard line. There he's brought down. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Pontiac. Vote for this week's Pontiac game, changing performance at ESPN.com/Pontiac. Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. And AOL for broadband, proud sponsor of First and 10. Trojans come up now with Bush a single back, down by 7. And Reggie Bush turns back into the traffic, and he's stopped just about the line of scrimmage.
Boy, was he ever. Derek Curry and Mike Gouldsby, part of this strong front 7 for Notre Dame. Absolutely nothing for Reggie Bush right up the middle. Both these stud linebackers. Here's Gouldsby. He gets help inside.
Stan Baker just ran right by him. 2nd down and 10. 5 rushes for 7 yards so far for Southern California in the ball game. They've spread them out now, emptying the backfield. 5 wideouts. Matt Leinart gets a little heat. Tucks after him, and he goes down the sidelines. He hit the chalk at about the 35-yard line.
Leinart showing surprising speed, getting away from a very quick Justin Tuck. Tuck leads the Irish. In fact, he's their career leader in sacks with 24.5. He did force Leinart out of bounds, though.
And it'll be 3rd down and 7 now for USC at just outside their 35.
This does not look like a SC team that we've watched hold that #1 ranking for the entire season, does it?
Nope. Been off 2 weeks.
So have the Irish.
Different attitude.
You got that right.
3rd down and 7. Leinart's pressure gets the ball away. Pass is incomplete. Well defended by Mike Richardson on Dominique Byrd to tie it in. It was a miracle that Leinart got it away in the first place, and then Richardson right there to make a good play.
Now this is what they want to force Leinart to do. Throw the ball when he's running to his right, because he's left-handed. Much more difficult pass. They also want to knock him down, as Landry did right there. Fortunate for Leinart, that ball wasn't picked off by a very closely guarded man by Mike Richardson.
Tom Malone to punt. Carlisle Holiday is waiting for it. Malone's previous kick was a 41-yarder that he killed on the 7-yard line, but the Irish went from there to the touchdown, and I think that ball probably got somebody's hand on it. It was tipped and comes out of bounds up around the 43. So it's a very short kick for Tom Malone, who's one of the top kickers in the country. And you've got timeout at 10:43 to play in the first half.
Keith, let's take a look at this blocked punt by Derek Curry on Tom Malone. Malone has had a punt blocked or partially blocked over the last 2 games when he's played Notre Dame. That's a big right hand here, and it's his thumb that just gets that ball and causes that poor punt by SC.
21 yards, and he gives them the ball first down at the 43. Walker. Darius Walker has Mike Patterson hanging on to him, but he's going to get a couple of yards on the carry to the 45. Aflac trivia question now. This week's question: who are the only 5 teams to complete a full season ranked #1 by the Associated Press? #1 all season. 5 of them.
I got a hunch 2 of them may be here tonight.
No kidding.
Aflac.
2nd down and 8. Quinn back. Heat's coming. Gets it off. Man's underneath. Walker. Hot potato. But he's able to get a handle on it and get something out of the play. He wobbled that thing around quite a bit before he finally turned it loose. Jeff Schweiger was the man putting some heat on Brady Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn, though, very coolly stepped up in the pocket, let Schweiger go sailing by. From the right side of the screen, you see number 54 there, but Quinn stepping up and then taking the pounding from Mike Patterson. And the bobble here on that hot potato by Walker.
Marcus Wilson in a tailback now for the Irish. Quinn back. Runs right into the Trojan, Lawrence Jackson, who was hand fighting with the blocker, and he's taken down. Loss on the play, back outside the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, nobody gets after the quarterback or has more sacks than the Trojans this year. That's 43 now on the season, and for Lawrence Jackson, it's his 6th. And finally, Pete Carroll's defense shows up tonight.
And finally, they get a man out to return the ball. There was nobody deep for this punt. And Reggie Bush finally emerges from the sidelines, and he's standing back at the 15-yard line. Punts away, and it's a good one. High, a lot of air under it. He's going to let it go, and it goes into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, first down for Southern California, with the Irish leading in the ball game 10-3. Welcome back to the BCS Spotlight Game, presented by ADT, Los Angeles Coliseum. Notre Dame leading Southern California 10-3 with 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Trojans now at the 20-yard line. Lindale White lines up as the single back. Steve Smith is the man in motion. Leinart rolls it out. Has a big old tight end in front of him, pulls it down and runs into a bunch of white shirts. That was a nice thing by Curry there. He just jumped over the quarterback after he'd slid and made no contact. Now a moment with Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Keith. Well, it looks like the Trojans once again are going to have a comeback, and this man knows a thing or two about comebacks. The year was 1974. Young Keith Jackson was calling the game, and this man put on 4 touchdowns, bringing the Trojans back from 24-0. Anthony Davis, welcome back to the Coliseum. What did that one game mean to you?
It was great. It changed my life forever. I'll never forget we were down 24-6, and we went into halftime. McKay said they're going to kick the ball to AD, he's going to bring it all the way back.
And you did just that. You brought it all the way back. Let's talk about the present day. What do you think about this kid, Reggie Bush?
You know, a lot of times, which is a great compliment, a lot of people talk about him in reference to me. And this guy has a lot of talent, and you'll see him on Sundays.
I know you're a loved man in the Southland, but are you the most hated man in South Bend, Indiana?
Well, the Southland is great, but let me tell you something. Back in South Bend, they still have me hanging in Effigy.
Good to see AD. Keith, back up to you.
All right. Thank you. AD. You got a treadmill? He and I, we're going to have to visit here. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's fun. Ball's loose, picked up by Bush. They were trying to run a reverse, and the pitch back to Bush from Reed, and it bounced off Reggie and almost got away.
Yeah, Bush has laid the ball on the ground too many times for Pete Carroll recently. Fortunately, he got a good bounce on this one. It appeared to be a good pitch by Desmond Reed, and Bush may have just taken his eyes off of it, and still he managed to salvage just a 2-yard loss.
Second down and 12. Leinart gets it away. Air under it. Got him open. Down the sidelines goes Steve Smith. Welcome back, Steve Smith, coming from a broken leg and returning to play tonight. And the ball is down at the Irish 28-yard line.
Now, before Steve Smith broke his leg, he was Matt Leinart's favorite target. Just a sophomore. Watch him working against Freddie Parrish here. A little post move and then down the sidelines. And Parrish is just toast. Burrell has to come over and make the tackle. Perfect pass, though, by Matt Leinart, as Leinart's starting to look like his Heisman Trophy self, potentially. 42 yards on that play. First big play for SC tonight.
Yeah, we got old Mo in the game, and now we got old Poe in the game here. 28-yard line, just inside of it. Leinart back looking around again. He wanted to go deep and didn't find anybody. Now he's just going to take it on out of bounds. And live to throw another one. Budensack wouldn't let him have any room. Earlier we asked you the Aflac trivia question, who are the only 5 teams to complete a full season? Ranked number 1 by the Associated Press, they are Notre Dame 1943, Army 1945, Nebraska 1971, Southern California 1972, and Florida State 1999.
I told you I had a hunch.
I still say that 1972 USC team's the best college football team I ever saw.
No, I saw him up close and personal, and I second that.
Reggie Bush is the single back. Leinart gives it to him. There he goes. Down to the 12-yard line. Zibikowski kept him out of the end zone.
Kyle Williams is in the game for Tatusi Latui at right tackle, and he's going to have a key block on this play. It's a draw play to Reggie Bush, but watch number 75 get out on Gouldsby, and you cannot give Reggie Bush this much room. Solid tackle there by Zibikowski.
You better look quick. First down, USC at the Irish 12 now. Their deepest penetration. Pass is touchdown. Dwayne Jarrett.
Now that's what SC's been doing to opponents all year long. Matt Leinart showing his leadership there, running the ball a couple of times, making good decisions, getting a huge play from Reggie Bush, and then the quick strike to the 6'5" true freshman Dwayne Jarrett for Jarrett's 11th touchdown reception of the year.
Killeen for the point.
And again, it's Freddie Parrish, Keith, that gets burned.
Malone holds it. Kick's good. We're tied. We've got 5:53 to play in the first half. And it's 10-10 between the Irish and the Trojans. Here are your BCS standings this week, brought to you by Allstate. Trojans starting the game as number 1 in the country. They've been sitting up there all year. Auburn, of course, in number 3 and making a lot of noise. But the real interest in that top group lies between California and Texas. Utah and Boise State is playing in Nevada. And here comes Anastasio returning the kickoff for the Irish. He's across the 20, and he'll be about the 25 when he is brought down. Tomorrow, don't miss the final holes of an ABC Sports Thanksgiving weekend tradition. Tiger Woods, Annika Sorenstam, Fred Couples, and young Adam Scott in a shootout. The Merrill Lynch Skins game. That'll be at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC Sports. That's what happened today. And you can see young Adam made himself some walking around money. Next hole they play tomorrow will be $300,000.
Now there's walking around money.
That's walking around. That's joking money. All right, here comes Notre Dame from the 25-yard line. It's Grant. Ryan Grant trying to get to the outside. Look at that stiff arm. That'll do the job for you. He just brushed Jason Leash off like nothing.
It was that same tight end lead play with Anthony Fasano leading Grant. SC defensed it better, but at the end of the play, as you said, Keith, that straight arm on Jason Leach is why the Irish now will have a second down and about 3.
Grant was shaking his hand when he got up because apparently he hit the helmet of Leach. You know that Jason's mad now, so we'll see what happens when they meet the next time. Second down, long 2. Here goes Grant again, running into traffic. He's got the first down as he goes to the 37, brought down by Jeff Schweigert.
And you can see 27, Leach was coming up into the box, loading the box against the Notre Dame run, but he was cognizant of the cutback of Ryan Grant, never really closed on the tackle. Grant now 9 carries for 70 yards.
But it's a 10-10 tie as we come closing in on halftime. Both these teams, Dan, have a history of being second half ball clubs. They've had some of their best moments in the second half, and particularly USC. Here's Brady Quinn, who's having a good night. A lot of time to throw, lets it go, got it on the hands of Maurice Stovall, but he couldn't hold it. He was defended by Justin Wyatt.
That's 2 balls now that Stovall should have caught. One on the previous drive on a long ball down the sidelines, and now this one on a crossing route at 6'5" against Justin Wyatt at 5'10". This ball's perfectly thrown. Throw it high, let him go up and get it over the shorter defensive back, and then look out, because number 99's coming. Clean hit there by Mike Patterson.
You ever had a chimney fall on you?
As a matter of fact, 1 or 2. Doesn't it show?
Second down and 10. Only when you walk. Darius Walker now in the backfield for the Irish. Swing the pass out to him. There's a block in the back. No call on it. And not much for Walker on the play. As a matter of fact, there's a loss as Grudegood got involved in the accident. And Shamarza was the guy who had the block in the back. But no harm, no foul, I reckon. Coming up on the Capital One halftime show, John, Craig, and Aaron will have highlights and analysis from today's big games. And there were some big ones, especially in the Big East Conference. There's another one that's going to be a bone of contention in the days to come. 4:27 to play in the half. Ryan Grant checks back in as the deep back. 3rd down, 11 for the Irish. Brady Quinn gets some heat, gets it away. Ball is off Carlisle Holiday and incomplete. Sean Cody was the man on that had the quarterback in his sights.
Sean Cody with pressure on the quarterback.
Another drop pass for the Irish. From the left side here, you're going to see number 7 come in. Quinn does a good job, put it right on him, but Holiday never looked for the ball. Inexperienced wide receiver, former quarterback, number 7.
And in the punt, Fitzpatrick. First kick was a 57-yarder tonight. No pressure on him. And he didn't quite get this one to turn over, but it takes a pretty good bounce and goes down inside the 30-yard line, and it'll stop in the vicinity of the 27. There, the Trojans will have it with 4:01 to go in the first half. A moment now with John Saunders at our studio.
Keith with the Taco Bell update. Boise State, one of the remaining unbeaten teams and trying to stay that way facing Nevada. Jarrett Zabransky, 15 yards to Jason Murray. That's a touchdown. Boise State right now is cruising with a 28-7 lead. We'll see at halftime with more. Keith, back to you.
All right, John, thanks. From the 27 now, first down for Southern California. Leinart, a little play action, gets his pass away. It's underneath. Ball is caught by Alex Holmes, a tight end. And Holmes is usually good for a couple of yards after the catch, and he was there.
That's what Norm Chow and the Trojans do so well, Keith. They move Leinart around in the backfield, change the launch point for the passes, get Notre Dame thinking about defending the width of the field, and then they hit him right up the middle with the draw play to Reggie Bush or to Lendell White.
Bush comes to this side, down to the bottom of your picture. Ball is handed away to White. They've held him in check pretty much tonight. Talking with Norm Chow this week about his quarterback, Matt Leinart. Norm Chow has tutored a lot of great quarterbacks in his coaching career. I asked him where Leinart fits.
The young man is so bright and he's so accurate with his throws, and he wants so badly to be a good quarterback. He's right there with all the rest of them. Smart as the day is long, studies. He's right there.
You get the feeling he kind of likes him, don't you?
Yeah, those numbers make you like a lot of things about Matt Leinart. What a couple of years he's put together.
Yeah, that's right, 22-1. There's your first down pass, completed inside out, just beyond the 40-yard line to Dominic Bird. So Alex Holmes and Dominic Byrd have both made their presence felt in this ball game so far tonight. First down at the 42.
Yeah, they both have 3 receptions. Right here, the tight end number 86. Again, you can see that time it's just a 3-step drop for Leinart. Note, you'll rarely see him throw from the same spot 2 times in a row.
Leinart looking to throw again. Goes to the outside with it. Pass caught by Dwayne Jarrett. Gets loose on the sidelines, and he's in there. Touchdown. No flags. Steve Smith threw a huge block to clear the way for Dwayne Jarrett, and the Trojans have taken the lead on a 57-yard pass run play.
12 touchdowns now for the 18-year-old Dwayne Jarrett. And for Matt Leinart, 25 on the season. He's showing his leadership abilities. Watch as he surveys the entire field here. Here's that key block by Steve Smith. Jarrett makes the grab. Smith gets the block on Zibikowski, and forget it with that speed and that stride.
Killeen's point slips inside the upright. At 2:06 to go in the first half. Southern California now leads Notre Dame 17-10.
Yeah, SC kind of slept through that first quarter, but they've gotten a wake-up call. Getting the ball in the end zone here in the second quarter and using the talents of Dwayne Jarrett. When he caught that ball, there were about 4 Irishmen even with him. He just opened up that long stride and glided into the end zone.
First quarter was almost totally the property of Notre Dame. Second quarter turned around. Chase Anastasio is a sophomore out of Burke, Virginia, and Carlos Kemble. Chase is the guy that does most of the kickoff returning, and Ryan Killeen is a junior out of Norco, California. Crowd tonight anticipated that close to 92,000. It's going to be a new attendance record for Southern California, no question about it. 4-yard line, and it's Anastasio breaking out into the open. Good return out across the 30.
Keith, the most surprising contributor to the Trojan offense this season has got to be the freshman wide receiver Dwayne Jarrett. He leads SC with 43 catches, and more importantly, he's earned the confidence of his quarterback, Matt Leinart, in the red zone. The 18-year-old's caught 12 touchdown passes. In fact, he scores every 4 times he touches the ball. Whatever happened to Mike Williams? Who? Another freshman wide receiver for the Trojans. Tall and productive.
He took a chance, a considered risk. Wide open. They absolutely let Brady Quinn, the quarterback, curl and come around, and when he finally looked upfield, there was nobody there.
Yeah, it's because the Irish have run the ball well in this first half, and it was a bootleg. It's called one of those naked bootlegs where the only guy on it is the quarterback. After the fake, Quinn will roll around this corner. SC is in a 3-man pass rush, 4-man pass rush rather, but they're all looking at the run. Heads up, smart play by Quinn. But did he miss a potential touchdown to Matt Shelton? Not exactly. Jason Leach had the coverage.
Ryan Grant is back in there as the beat back now as they go to a high formation set and give the ball to Grant. Grant runs into traffic. Messrs. Patterson and Cody and Jackson and Rucker have become a little more obvious in the last few minutes of the ball game.
Yeah, they're a proud group. I mean, they're number 2 rush defense in the country, number 2 in points given up, number 4 in total defense.
Irish timeout here with 1:43 to play in the first half. Well, we've got a moment here with the old clock gig. Now they've reset it. The game clock kept running up on the peristyle, and now they've reset it to 1:42, and that's about right.
You got to hand it to both these football teams coming off of a bye week. No penalties in this first half for either team. No turnovers either.
Yep. There was one flag. Todd?
Well, Keith, in the interest of fair and balanced journalism, we talked to Anthony Davis. He was one of the great Trojans, one of the great Irish of all time, Rocket Rahib Ismail. And I know it's not the stadium food that's giving you the heartburn right now.
No, not right now. The opportunity that we have right now for the university to come out national television and show everybody what we have is, this is worse than playing. But I like the offense. I like the mix. We need to make a couple of plays. We'll be fine. Defense, we cannot continue to give up these big plays. Other than that, go into halftime, make some adjustments. I feel like we'll be in the mix.
Keith and Dan, the real reason why he's nervous is on national TV. He picked the Irish to win, so he expected this, but his colleagues on game day did not share his same views. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Keith.
The Rocket. What fun he was, huh? What fun he was. An update from John.
He's here with Aaron Taylor's Pontiac game-changing performance.
Well, Tennessee trailed most of the day to Kentucky, but Gerald Riggs has a 12-yard score to take control of the game. It's about time the Volunteers showed up.
37-31. They'll face Auburn, of course, in the SEC championship game. That's the Pontiac game-changing performance. Keith.
Boy, the Volunteers were taking their lumps for a while from Rich Brooks' boys, weren't they?
Yeah, that Kentucky Wildcat defense got a touchdown. They're looking pretty good, but SC used that timeout now, Keith, to set up the most dangerous returner in college football, Reggie Bush. It'll be interesting to see if Fitzpatrick gives him a shot at one.
Well, it's 4th and 1. They might not. They might choose to have a go at it.
Yeah, SC has their defense on the field except for Bush.
Now he's going to kick it. And he hit a rocket. And they're going to kill it deep at the 1-yard line. So with 1:21, you get a howitzer down the field of 59 yards by Fitzpatrick. He's at 57, 37, 59. And Southern California will possess it. Officially, this will be at the 2.
And that will change what SC does. Number one, they have to be secure with the ball and make sure they don't turn it over. Heck of a first half, especially in that second quarter for Matt Leinart. I think Reggie Bush thought he might have had a chance of returning this one. Didn't expect it to die on the 2 as it did.
Well, when you have one that's that high and that long, oftentimes that's beyond the coverage, and it gives you a pretty good start. Lindale White is the deep back in the end zone from the 2. White's got it. And Lindale comes on out to the 10 for a pickup of about 8 yards.
Now that will change. That may change the way SC looks at the end of this first half. Straight up the middle for SC. This is the old blast play right behind the fullback. Webb with the lead block. Good cutback by Lindale White. A little breathing room for the Trojans.
2nd down and 2. Inside 50 seconds to go in the first half. This is White again, and there's a first down as he comes on up near the 15-yard line. And that'll stop your clock. And we got a little trouble with that stadium clock now. We're going to wind up with the watch in the back judge's pocket. Coming up on the Capital One halftime show, John, Craig, and Aaron, highlights, analysis, and all of that sort of stuff during the halftime report. They've got it at 41 seconds now. And first down at the 15.
Well, the clock should be rolling.
Well, the Trojans apparently are just happy to run it out and go to the clubhouse in a 10-10 tie, because in that first quarter they were getting knocked off the ball, and when they got it even at 10, then all of a sudden the offense seemed to catch fire, and The Irish defense got trapped a couple of times, and Jarrett came up with a big run after a catch, and that made it 17-10. And now they're going to the clubhouse with the Trojans up by 7. So, been an interesting first half of play, and now let's join Todd Harris.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. Coach, really it was a tale of 2 different quarters for your defensive unit.
Yeah, we certainly settled down a little bit in the second quarter and got going a little bit. So we got to see what happens now. This is a big transition right here. Halftime, we got to come out smoking and make sure we play real well. They did a great job in the first quarter.
What kind of adjustments did you make, or do you think it was more the time off and they just didn't have the game wheels going?
No, I don't know. We were slipping a little bit, missed some tackles. You know, we just didn't have a footing like we needed to. We're okay now. It's going to be a real slugfest, I think.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Keith, back up to you.
Now let's go to John, Craig, and Aaron in New York with our score in Los Angeles, 17-10, USC in the lead.
Keith, thanks a lot. All right, I'm going to give you guys your chance because you both sat here over the last couple of weeks and said you thought Auburn was better and Oklahoma was better than USC. Is that evidence there, or are they showing they're a tough team to hang in?
I think we still got 2 quarters to go. I think you really have to wait and see this game out. I think what you've seen so far early on, Notre Dame came out, but they didn't finish off a couple of interceptions they should have made. They also have dropped some passes. You don't see USC's receivers out there dropping passes, and that's hurting the Irish.
It's been the name of the game for USC. We all know that they're a good team, but at times they struggle a little bit. Notre Dame definitely got ready and come out to play. SC typically in the second half has done a very good job, so it'll be interesting to see what type of adjustments they make.
When it has been important, USC's been able to turn on their offense. The Capital One halftime show is coming up after this message.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Back here at the Coliseum, 17-10, Southern California leading Notre Dame, getting ready for the second half of play. Big second quarter for Matt Leinart, quarterback of the Trojans. But Dan, it was the uncaught ball by Notre Dame that really kind of opened up that second quarter for the Trojans.
Well, Notre Dame scored on their first 2 possessions to get their 10 points, and then they dropped those 2 passes, and that gave SC the belief that they could come back on them, and boy, did they ever come back. It really was a tale of 2 quarters in that first half. Take a look at our first half stats here, and you can see in the first quarter, Notre Dame dominated, more than 52 yards more in total yardage, but in that second quarter, Matt Leinart took over. Got a couple of touchdown passes to Dwayne Jarrett, and Notre Dame pretty much has held Reggie Bush in control, but too many weapons for Matt Leinart.
Ball is kicked deep into the end zone. It'll come out 20, where the Irish will begin their second half possession.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Matt Leinart in that first half, the second quarter is when he got on fire. Hit Dwayne Jarrett with that one. Next drive, a 73-yard drive in 4 plays is capped off by this 57-yard bomb. 5 out of 6 in that second quarter for the Heisman hopeful.
Ball is on the 20 now for the Irish. Pretty much the same lineup we saw start the game, except Raymond Knight is out there at the slot back position, now going in motion. And Brady Quinn wants to throw. Here comes Heat. Got away from Rucker. He had him stone cold in the backfield. And Quinn got away from him and completes the pass to McKnight. Here's Todd Harris.
Coach, first of all, what was the difference between the first 2 quarters? Because that first quarter, you guys looked awesome.
Well, we were executing. That's always the key. Late in the second quarter, we had a couple breakdowns defensively. And even in the first quarter, we had a couple, but we were able to cover them up pretty well. What we've got to do right now is come back out, start very strong in this quarter. We've got to take the ball down the field, get some points, get some scores, and then our defense has got to maintain its consistency in terms of playing deep first and then reacting up. Good luck. Thank you.
Tyrone Willingham with Todd Harris. That's Ryan Grant slashing his way up to the 35-yard line.
Well, mission accomplished on the first 2 plays for Tyrone Willingham as Brady Quinn plays strong, getting away from Frosty Rucker and completing the pass for the first down. And then Ryan Grant with the conversion there on 2nd and short.
First down from the 35-yard line for Notre Dame now. Again, it looked like Quinn was going to step away, but Dallas Sarts was able to get a piece of him and jerked his feet from under him, and he takes him down behind the line of scrimmage at the 31-yard line.
This is where Pete Carroll is very famous for, making those halftime adjustments. Going to bring the heat here. Here comes Dallas Sarts off the corner with the corner. Justin Wyatt, number 24, also on the blitz. Too many men for Notre Dame to pick up. Another sack for USC.
2nd down and 14. Carlisle Holiday checks in along with Jeff Smarja. And Quinn again with all day to throw, but this time he misses his man. He threw the ball behind Smarja, and he was open in that short zone right up the pipe. You can see Brady saying, "It's my fault."
It almost looked like the ball was deflected at the line of scrimmage, or the ball just slipped out of the hand. Smarja's going to come from this side of the screen, and he is going to be open in this zone defense of SC. Yeah, I think the ball got tipped right there by Frosty Rucker. So Rucker loses one, and then he wins one.
And it is 3rd down and 14. And they go to the shotgun. Oh, look at this. I mean, it was a bunch coming, and the pass is completed, but the gain is only up to the original line of scrimmage. Sean Cody on Anthony Fasano, the receiver, and it'll be 4th down and 10. I mean, it was a jailbreak blitz.
Well, it was, and the Notre Dame offense wanted it. This is where the blitz comes from. The screen is to be set up over to this side. Watch how SC reacts, especially Matt Grudegood, number 6. He's going to be right in the middle of this one as SC dials up the right defense again.
Low kick, but good distance on it. A lot of carry. The ball comes straight sideways and now back up the field and goes out of bounds just over the 25-yard line. So the Irish start at the 20, have to punt it away, and now Notre Dame will come back with their possession at the 25. Just getting underway in the 3rd quarter of play here at the Coliseum. 7-point lead for the Trojans over the Irish.
See how effective the Trojans have been on 1st down. Leinart 13 of 18 in that 1st half and doing most of the damage on 1st down.
Ball is very near the 25-yard line as Leinart sets him up with a single back and rolls, gets some heat, gets it away, and threw it in a hurry to avoid the sack. And Alex Holm was the intended receiver, but it was Justin Tuck who was all over him and forced the play. Justin Tuck from Kellyton, Alabama. That's 41 miles due south of Talladega, in case you don't know where it is.
I do now. He gets away from Alex Holmes and puts the pressure. Holmes got a little bit of jersey there. That was enough to slow down number 44. He was on his way to the raceway, huh?
Yep. Coosa County. Second down and 10. Gonna run it. Lendale White has been held in check pretty much so far tonight as the Irish defensive front has done a good job. Tuck, Pauly, Landry, Budenczak, Curry. The front 7. Kent Baer said the strength of his defense is the front 7, and it's clearly showed tonight.
Yeah, they have struggled defending the pass. In fact, Preston Jackson is in the game at the boundary corner. He'll now move to the nickel corner in place of Freddie Parrish, who got the start.
9 carries, 30 yards for Lendale White. That's Reggie Bush moving around. And Leinart goes down the middle with this one for Alex Holmes, and the big tight end pounds his way to the 45-yard line at a 1st down. Quentin Burrell brought him down.
That is really the test for the quarterback, to stand in the pocket and wait for his receiver to come open. Leinart will drop back, get good protection from his offensive line, and he'll hitch right here, pulls it back down, stands tough, and lets Holmes clear and just threads the needle between the linebackers. What a play by Leinart.
What much room was there?
No.
45-yard line now for the Trojans' 1st down. Leinart chased out of the pocket, throws as he's falling down, and it's incomplete. The big pressure on him that time coming from Paulie and Tuck. He had Bush going down the sidelines, and I think he wanted to turn back and let it go for Reggie, because if he had had the time to throw it deep across the field, it'd been 6.
Let's take a look at Reggie Bush here working against Dwight Ellick.
Pressure on the quarterback.
But by this time, that front four had good pressure on Leinart, and that was not bad coverage by Dwight Ellick.
Yeah, but you get in a foot race, you know who's going to win that.
It didn't look like Bush was running full speed, did it?
No, it didn't. There's a little quick one, and goes to Dominique Byrd. And Dominique Byrd, the other tight end, goes banging across the 45 on the Irish side and picks up a first down at the 44.
First down, USC.
Pretty good combination with the tight ends, Dominique Byrd and Alex Holmes, and that's what their quarterback had to say about it.
Alex Holmes and Dominique Byrd are two great weapons. Both can block. You know, Alex has got, you know, probably one of the best pair of hands on the team, and Dominique is just a receiver in a tight end's body. You know, he just makes plays. So those guys complement each other very well, and it's great to have them both at 100%.
Now it's the fullback, Lee Webb, swinging out of the backfield and picking up 8 or 9 yards on that reception.
Just to show you how Leinart's dealing the ball. First catch now for Lee Webb, but his two tight ends have 8 catches combined for 67 yards. And guess who hasn't caught a pass yet today? Number 5, Reggie Bush.
He will.
Yeah,
he will.
He will, but he has influenced the coverage. There's no question. He's opened up the tight ends over the middle.
Yep. Comes out this side to Jarrett. And Jarrett walking right down the chalk line, breaks a tackle, got away from Preston Jackson, and the official linesman has marked the ball at the 27-yard line, and that's another first down.
Again, it's a wide play for SC. Out to the wide receiver, Dwayne Jarrett, going to break the tackle by Preston Jackson. Jackson will get him out of bounds with some help, but you can see how the strategy of Norm Chow make the defense defend the entire field, not only the length of the field, but the width as well.
Now Reggie Bush, the single back. Now he's a wide out. Leinart hit as he throws, and he was hit from behind and hit hard by Derek Curry, number 49 right there. So Curry spoils the pass play, and it'll be second down and 10. USC leading Notre Dame 17-10, took the lead late in the first half after the Irish had gone to the lead in the first quarter and dominated the first quarter of play. But the Trojans come back in the second quarter, and now the Irish punted away on their first possession of the second half, and the Trojans are trying now to go from their 25 to the other end of the field. They've emptied the backfield. You've got Bush on the near side here. Leinart's pass is incomplete and could have been picked. The man he was looking to throw it to looked like was Dominique Byrd, and he was absolutely covered. I mean, he couldn't even see it.
Yeah, he's covered by a linebacker, and Zibikowski is just playing his area of the field. Almost got both hands on this ball, but good coverage by Derek Curry on Dominique Byrd. You talk about a big play for the Irish defense right now. They have got to stop SC and hope for SC to try a long field goal.
Third down and 10. Smith is in, along with Bush on the far side of the field. Leinart hands it off to White. And again, they've controlled White. It's Curry making another big defensive play for Notre Dame. And the ball's on the 25, and it is fourth down.
Well, SC averages 180 yards a game rushing, and this Notre Dame defense has limited them this evening to just 57 yards. So yes, they have controlled not only Lendale White but Reggie Bush.
Killeen now has made from 39 in the ball game, and this one will go from 42. right down the highway. So they get 3 out of it and get the first points of the second half to lead the ball game by a score of 20-10.
Time to take a look at the Chevrolet drive summary. These first 2 possessions Notre Dame scored on, but then after that, punt, 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 into the half, and they start the second half with their first possession with the punt. Not exactly what Tyrone Willingham has in mind.
Boy, he's been on the dead run ever since his feet hit the ground on this trip out here. Here, there, and everywhere. Low driving kick. Hard to handle those kind of things, and this one goes well into the end zone and will come back out to the 20-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Cadillac and the new STS with available performance-tuned all-wheel drive. Breakthrough. Pacific Life offering insurance, annuities, and investments. Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. Bud Light, fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. New Zinc Singular, raising the bar. And AOL for broadband, proud sponsor of First and 10. Darius Walker is the deep back and has the ball now. Finds some daylight, shakes a tackle, shakes another tackle, and he's going to have a first down. He comes all the way out to the 30-yard line. He broke the tackle of Jason Leach, got away from Matt Grudegood, and they finally wrestled him down. He's a tough customer.
Well, this is a heck of an effort. We're talking about true freshman, though. Well, that's what Darius Walker is. Getting behind his big fullback, Josh Schmidt. He didn't get much of a block. But then it takes about 6 Trojans to finally get Walker down, close to that first down. In fact, he got all the way out to the 30.
And the first down.
Yep.
Ryan Grant now, the tailback. He's coming, that's Brady Quinn keeping it, going the other side of the field. And he never really got a chance to turn up the field as Lawrence Jackson and Dallas Starks were both in pursuit of him. And both those guys can run.
And Brady is refusing to go out of bounds quietly at 6'4", 224 pounds, showing his toughness there, but not necessarily his smarts there. Taking on a couple of big Trojans. Bill Dietrich is concerned about his attitude. He loves the way he fights for every yard, but he wants him to get down and protect himself to come back and play another down.
Walker is back in, a rotating Grant and Walker at the tailback position and doing it well. Here he comes again. This is Walker just sliding off the seal block on the right side, and he's all the way down to the Southern California 47-yard line. So the offensive line and this freshman running back are seemingly determined to put the Irish back into the game. They're down by 10.
Dallas Sarge with another missed tackle. Here's Tutupu, but Sarge from the outside here gets too deep on his pass rush, looking for the pass from Quinn, and now Walker's in the secondary, and another good run for the freshman.
Quinn, quick pop, pass caught by Matt Shelton. So Shelton, who is fundamentally a deep target, that time took a quick pop and tried to slip past the defender. He didn't get past, but he got something out of the play all right.
Yeah, this is a blitz adjustment. SC's coming on the blitz. Shelton sees it, stops his route short, catches the ball from Quinn, and almost got away from Justin Wyatt. If he gets away from Wyatt, keeps his balance, he scores easily. First catch of the night, though, for that deep threat we talked about, Matt Shelton.
Short yard for the first down. Walker again. He's got the first down. Right about the 35-yard line on the Trojan side of the field. Again, Todd Harris.
Well, Keith and Dan, just before sending his troops out, offensive line coach Mike Denbrook gave an impassioned plea to the offensive line. He said, and I quote, "They have a 20-game win streak here at home. They don't have that for no reason, and they're not just going to step aside and give it to you. We have to take it, and it starts with us on the front line." End quote. The kids must be responding because this is one of the best drives they've had all night since the first quarter. Keith.
Well, it's a kind of a drive that can sap your strength and your spirit. They right now are just pounding.
This is the way they started the game.
Yep. Grinding. Here they come again, coming to the outside and coming this direction is where they've made their biggest gains. Running to the right. So the defensive left side of the Trojan line is being handled, or the defensive front.
Yeah, Mark LaFleur and Dan Stevenson on this right side here. These two big guys, they seal it down, and then there's a good pull block by Bob Morton. But Walker gives Notre Dame just that little bit extra. The speed to get to the outside and the surprising toughness to get tackled and lean forward to pick up extra yards.
Safety Bing had to come up and make the tackle. Gain of 8 on the play. Now this Grant carries. Grant keeps on pounding, and he's down to the 22-yard line, where it's going to be another first down for Notre Dame. Another update now from John.
Keith, it looks like Boise State will remain unbeaten as they're polishing off Nevada. Jeff Rowe back to pass, picked off by Cam Hall, who goes 52 yards over the snow and ice on the field in a 42-14 lead for Boise State. They'll go to 11-0. Keith.
Yeah, they're pretty good. From the 22 of USC, Brady Quinn has a man in his face, throws the ball to beyond the end zone, and incomplete. And this time Quinn was put on his back by Mike Patterson.
And that's because he was in the pocket where Patterson could find him. Patterson with 6 sacks on the year, number 99, one of the quickest defensive tackles in the country. And that's a punishing hit as he takes him all the way to the ground. It's one of the rare times we've seen Brady Quinn in the pocket throwing the ball.
And now they're going to call a timeout. There was some either wrong personnel or something wrong with what was going on. So Notre Dame calls timeout with 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Trojans leading 20-10.
TV's #1 new guilty pleasure has everybody guessing. What will happen next, Keith? An all-new Desperate Housewives, Sunday 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
I'll be the last one to know.
I'll tell you all about it.
Second down and 10. Here comes that little reverse. Here's Carlisle Holiday, former quarterback. And he was looking and shopping, and he couldn't find anybody. Pretty good coverage by the Trojans deep.
After timeout, it's the worst time to call for a fake trick play like that. The defense has got all the time in the world to think about it. Holiday's going to come from this side. He's trying to throw the ball back to his quarterback, Brady Quinn. Frosty Rucker with a huge play there. That forces Holiday to throw it out of bounds where Brady Quinn happens to be. It's the only place he could get open. Smart play by Holiday. Smart play by Quinn to get out of bounds finally.
Marcus Wilson now is the tailback. Now they move. Here comes that trick stuff. And it's Carlisle Holiday under center, acting as a quarterback. Pulls it down, takes off. Trojans get him at the line of scrimmage. So see, you basically had 2 quarterbacks on the field. Quinn vacated. Holiday went under center. and it didn't fool anybody.
Well, there's a huge gap here. Look at this hole right here. If he doesn't come back, if he hits it right away, he's going to pick up the first down. No buddy for Sullivan to block. In fact, Sullivan is late with his block. If you just goose the center and head down the field, you've got a huge play.
39-yard field goal try coming for DJ Fitzpatrick. He hammers it, and he missed it. He missed it.
Boy, after that timeout, Keith, the Irish lost all their momentum, all their edge. The trick play, and then another trick play, poor execution. And then Fitzpatrick comes out and misses for just the 4th time this year.
Goes left on him. Pete liked it.
Yeah, he didn't like it at first until it hooked towards that left upright, huh?
And the first time tonight we can see the moon, full moon almost. Looks like it's full, sitting up there over the Coliseum in Los Angeles as the Trojans hold and take over at their own 22-yard line, and Lindale White is the deep back for USC. He gets the ball. He is yet to break anything in the middle. He's going to pick up 3 yards on that play, and that's about what he's had most of the night. Derek Landry made the tackle, big junior out of Concord, California.
And White comes into the game averaging 5.5 yards a carry. You're right, Keith, he's averaging just 3 yards a carry tonight.
4:17, clock running, 3rd quarter of play. Southern California leading by 10. Reggie Bush back in there. Leinart throws, and it's Jarrett. And Jarrett is taken down at about the 25, just over the 25. And let me see here. I've got another catalog. Tomorrow, don't miss the final holds of an ABC Sports Thanksgiving weekend tradition. Tiger Woods, Annika Sorenstam. It's Fred Couples and young Adam Scott shooting it out in the Merrill Lynch Skins game tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC Sports. And it was young Adam Scott that made the big bucks today. Everybody else was shut out. And when they start tomorrow, they'll start with a hole worth $300,000. Matt Leinart. Penalty flag is down. Throws to the sidelines. He's out of bounds. It's an incomplete forward pass. The flag was thrown by the official over there on that side.
Offside, defense, the nose guard. That's a 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
I must say this, these officials have moved this ball game along tonight. It's gone at a heady pace. That's the first penalty of the ball game, first assessed penalty of the ball game. That's amazing.
And it gets Derek Landry a trip to the sidelines, as that was a 3rd down. SC did not convert, but they got a lot better chance on 3rd and 1 right now.
Reggie Bush is back there by himself, so that means they're going to throw. And they throw to Bush. Look out. Look out. Here comes the pursuit. Irish defender missed him, and Bush is in the end zone. Touchdown. Burrell missed him. Ellick couldn't run him down. Norm Chow, applause. 69 yards.
Now he just continues to amaze. Starting in the backfield, number 5 on a wheel route. Gets beyond Hoyt. He's wide open. Now here's the missed tackle by Burrell, and you can forget the foot race if you're Dwight Ellick. You're not going to catch him. Another big play for SC.
Killeen for the point. Good. At 3:06 to go in the 3rd quarter, Southern California now jumps out to a 27-10 lead. USC has scored 24 unanswered points after trailing 10-3.
That's why they're #1 in the country, and that's why Pete Carroll is beside himself with glee. His son, Brendan Carroll, sharing in the moment.
Back a yard deep in the end zone. Carlos Campbell returning it for Notre Dame. And he gets back to the 18-yard line where he is put on his back by Ryan Ting. Traveler getting a workout tonight. Ara, you can turn your head. The white horse is back. Just go get a drink of water and he'll go away.
Well, here's that first assessed penalty of the game. Derek Landry in the neutral zone. That was on a 3rd and 7. 5-yard penalty gave the Trojans a 3rd down and 2. Leinart with good protection finds what he wants. A halfback by the name of Bush on a linebacker. 69 yards, and the Trojans are threatening to blow this one away.
So after that long grinding march that wound up with a missed field goal, and then the defense couldn't keep the Trojans pinned up on their end of the field, and now all of a sudden they're down by 17. Little things add up to a sum sometimes that is not totally pleasant.
Notre Dame was dominating SC. They got down the field, good position, called timeout, and then decided to go for 2 trick plays in a row. Lost all their edge, lost their momentum, and then missed the field goal. And then Bush comes right back and accentuates that point.
It's 2nd down and 5. Quinn still got it. Throws. Walker has it. Outrunning the pursuit. Now from behind he is brought down.
How about that effort by Lawrence Jackson,
yeah.
Running down Darius Walker. Walker turned around and said, "Who was that?"
It's 250 pounds named Jackson.
Number 96 is Jackson on the pass rush. Then he locates number 3 and dives, makes a heck of a tackle.
But he did get a 1st down up to the 32-yard line. Ryan Grant's in the ball game now, and they give it to him as he pounds into the middle. And there's Cody, and there's Tatupu.
You know, that one thing that Pete Carroll talked about is one of his major concerns was the deep ball to Matt Shelton. And so far tonight, Shelton has 1 catch, and it was a short gain for Shelton. So Carroll's defense taking away the Irish's big threat in number 82
so far. Quinn again with pretty good time, but he couldn't find anybody, and finally the door was closing and he picks up a couple of yards. Mike Patterson gets the tackle. Todd Harris is on the field.
Well, Keith, I tell you what, it's reigning Heisman Trophy winners down here. Marcus Allen in the end zone saw that last great run by Reggie Bush, and I was just talking a minute ago. Is this team the real deal, and your thoughts on Reggie Bush?
Well, first of all, I think so. I think this team is a legitimate #1 team, and I think it's difficult coming off a bye. Either you play great or you're always come out lethargic, and I think SC's always made great adjustments at halftime, so I expect him to play well. And Reggie Bush is outstanding. Not only is he a great athlete who's learning the game, just imagine that. He's still learning how to play the game and stuff, but he's a wonderful person, too.
You have a Heisman vote. Who would you be casting it for tonight?
Need you ask?
Marcus Allen, one of the greats, Keith.
All right, thank you. I think perhaps he would be certainly in my top 5 all-time great football players, if not higher than that.
Absolutely, Keith. The Hall of Famer, both college and pro football.
Ain't a bad guy either.
Yeah. Irish almost get lucky here on the deflection.
Almost caught it.
Sano almost grabbed that ball. I think it surprised him a little bit off the hands of Ryan Grant.
Really good was the man that knocked it loose and stopped the play, and it brings up the punt. Oh, snap, but he got it. Fitzpatrick's had a great night with the punt tonight. That one, however, is cut a little thin and goes out of bounds, and they'll give him. They're going to give him down around the 33, 35 yards on the punt.
Keith, Marcus Allen was a great San Diego High School running back, as was Rashaan Salam and Ricky Williams and Terrell Davis. A couple of Heisman winners, a Super Bowl MVP. But when Reggie Bush came out of San Diego's Helix High School, many longtime high school observers felt that he, Reggie Bush, was the best of that lot. Time will tell.
So it's first down, USC, 33-yard line, and Bush is on the field in motion outside, top of your picture. Leinart goes down the middle with it, and it is caught by Steve Smith. And that's up to the 47-yard line.
Well, that's the difference between being number 1 and being 6-4 coming into this game.
Right.
Twice tonight, SC's caught balls on deflections. Notre Dame just had a chance to make a big play on a 3rd down. But that's why SC's number 1 and looking to stay there.
And we finished 3. Back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
ABC Sports welcomes you back to this week's BCS Spotlight Game presented by ADT.
Trojans to the attack now. The ball is on their own 48. They lead 27-10. And you got a quarter to go. And here's Lindale White spinning out of a tackle and just getting over midfield.
This is where SC now will try to pound on Notre Dame, wear them down. Great field position to start this drive at midfield. But watch for Lindale White to get a few carries, and then Norm Chow looking in his magic book of plays.
Bush is the deep back. Smith is the motion man. Bush has the ball. Goes over the top of a defender. Leaping for the marker. Couldn't quite get to it. Preston Jackson will get the tackle.
Trying to slow the game down, take time off the clock now. A couple of running plays in a row. First White and then Bush. Always changing personnel, always giving the defense something new to think about, whether it's in personnel or formations. So tough to defend this team.
3rd and 3. Long 3. Oh, they don't have it. That's a very good tackle by Mike Richardson, stopping David Kirkman coming out of the backfield, and it'll be 4th and 1 for the Trojans. At the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
What a textbook tackle by Mike Richardson. Leinart comes back out. The fans are going to get their way. Carroll's going to go for it on 4th down. Trojans are pretty good on 4th down, converting 7 of 15 this season.
White's back in. Gets it. Got it. And still going down to the 35-yard line. First down, USC.
Yeah, they really loaded up on that left side. Dominic Byrd came in motion, running behind Sam Baker. Here's Byrd. He gets the kick out block on Ellick. Look at the way that Sam Baker just caved in that side of the Irish defense. White with real power almost got him deep into the red zone.
Bush deep. Gets it. No, he doesn't. Leinart kept it, has a man wide open. Steve Smith, touchdown.
Well, welcome back, Steve Smith. You pound him, then you fake it with a beautiful fake by Leinart to Bush. Safeties bite, and Steve Smith is just wide open right down the middle of the defense. Check out the play fake here, and then Smith right here will just split the Irish defense. A lot of time to throw, a throwing lane, a strike, a touchdown. 4 touchdown passes for Matt Leinart tonight.
Kick good. At 12:27 to play in the ball game, it is now 34-10. Southern California leading Notre Dame. Travelers traveling. Trojans will kick off. Matt Leinart now career-high passing yards of 359 yards in a single game, and it ain't over.
Notre Dame gave up 5 touchdown passes 2 weeks ago to Pitt's Tyler Palco. They've been up 4 tonight to Matt Leinart. A couple of lefties.
Ball kicked well back into the end zone, and down goes the knee. Out it comes. Carlos Campbell the catch to the 20-yard line. And ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly, this is the High Life. Aflac, ask about it at work. Home Depot, you can do it, we can help. The new Chevrolets, 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American Revolution, and AOL for broadband, proud sponsor of First and 10. Darius Walker will start this possession for the Irish at tailback. Had a good night. Big experience. Ball dropped as he ran into Walker. Walker didn't take the ball. I don't know that he intended to or was intended to, but whatever, it was knocked from the hands of Quinn, the quarterback, and they're lucky to recover it.
Well, we've seen good play action fakes. This is a bad play action fake. It's going to be a pass play the whole way. Quinn bringing the ball up, had it knocked out of his hands by Walker going by.
Raining again. Well, that's a pretty good effort by Grant. They have not quit, I'll tell you that. Grant runs it on out across the 25, up almost to the 30 before Eric Wright can make the tackle.
Grant now just 6 yards, excuse me, Keith, away from getting 100 yards rushing against SC, something that only happened once this year. In fact, only happened twice in the last 2 years, and that was both by the University of California runner J.J. Arrington.
Grant was stopped a yard short of his first down. Ball is at the 29. Quinn on the throw it. Is it caught? Intercepted? Could have been.
No call yet.
Yeah.
Now they're
no. Incomplete. Justin Wyatt almost had it. Josh Schmidt.
Somebody's got to tell Justin that the officials say he didn't catch it. He was looking for someplace to hide that intercepted ball. But the ball is thrown behind the receiver to the back shoulder of Josh Schmidt. And does Justin Wyatt? Nope, ball hit the ground. Good call by the officials.
Clearly.
Good teamwork by the officials, too.
Justin Schmidt, one of the few married members of the Irish football team, got tired of being in South Bend by himself. And reminds me of the old story about Joe Saboldi, who was recruited and was one of the great running backs in the country they thought he would be. And he got married as a freshman, which was against the rules back in 1930. And the good fathers were quite upset over it. But then lo and behold, he got a divorce as a sophomore. And that got the church upset, and they booted him. Joe went on to become a wrestler and a science teacher in school, high school. High kick, hanging. And Reggie Bush says, I want nothing to do with that. And then it's going to bounce right on past him and go down around the 20-21 yard line. So at 10:40 to play in the ball game, it's USC now by 24, and we'll take a timeout. (34-10) ball game.
Yeah, in a career-defining and Heisman Trophy-winning performance, career Parson Palmer rather lit up the Irish 2 years ago. 4 touchdown passes, 425 yards. Trojans won at 44-13, and ironically, they went on to play in the Orange Bowl, which is also their desired destination this year.
Well, there are those who say the Heisman Trophy goes through Notre Dame. Charles White ran for 261 yards against them, won it. Marcus Allen went for 147 yards and 81, won it. All those games against Notre Dame. Here's Matt Leinart. Finally, he gets a block and some help and throws, and the pass is incomplete, and that gets a penalty flag because the receiver going up for the ball was undercut by a defender of Notre Dame as he went up to defend on the play of Burrell, and Quentin's questioning what he did wrong. In the minds of some, but the big question here is the ball catchable.
Well, in Burrell's mind, he thought he had timed it perfectly. And in Steve Smith's mind, he
pass interference,
wish he'd never gotten hit.
Defense number 8. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot with an automatic first down.
That's the answer right there. The others who went on to big games against Notre Dame, Dan, and won the Heisman included Desmond Howard, Tony Dorsett, Roger Staubach, Billy Vessels. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Steve Smith may not be going on and on after that double hit.
He's lame on the sidelines right now, but he just came down hard on his back. Reggie Bush is your single back. He's got the ball, looking around in traffic there, just one to stay warm and two to find a crack, and couldn't.
Time for our Pacific Live game summary. Let's check out the night for Reggie Bush. First, this 69-yard beauty, his only reception of the evening. That's because Matt Leinart has found a lot of guys to throw the ball to tonight. 4 touchdown passes, the last one there to Steve Smith, and perhaps worthy of even more Heisman consideration.
Ball is on the 36-yard line where it is 2nd down and 10. This is Bush, and taken down right about the line of scrimmage by Mike Richardson. So that will get the punter in the ball game. Time permitting, Thrifty Car Rental post-game report, scores and highlights from around the country. And wearing on, it's been a long day for the guys in the studio, starting early this morning. At Virginia Tech was a pretty good football game.
Yes, it was.
Long time. Steve Smith is back, so he's okay. Herschel Dennis appears in the ball game now. First appearance of the game. And Leinart, having gone to the sideline, comes back with the play, completes the pass, good for the first down, and takes it down to the Irish 46-yard line. Chris McFoy made the tackle. Another update from John.
Keith, time for the singular All-America Player of the Week update. Diamond Ferry had 2 touchdowns on the ground rushing and 1 with an interception return. He might be a good guy to vote for. Text the word player to 64444 or log on to ESPN.com, keyword singular.
I can't wait to hear what they say in Texas this coming week.
There'll be more pleading, I know that.
The Syracuse is going,
USC.
or Pittsburgh's going to wind up going to the BCS Bowl, it looks like. Timeout called by the Trojans now with 8 minutes and 33 seconds to play in the ball game, and they lead comfortably.
SC on top by 24. One final test awaits the Trojans in their quest for the Orange Bowl. The UCLA Bruins lay in wait with the talented Maurice Drew and crew. Running backs Manuel White, Chris Marquis, wide receivers Craig Bragg and Junior Taylor, tight end Mercedes Lewis. Hey, how about quarterback Drew Olson pulling the trigger? A lot of talent for a potentially high-scoring game. In fact, the only way the Bruins can beat the Trojans is to get into a high-scoring game.
There's Lindale White, one of the longer runs of the night as he picks up about 5 yards on the carry. But there have been upsets in that series too. I mean, they're just across town from each other, and when it comes to this game, they're not terribly fond of each other.
No, but the Bruins will be rested. Whether they'll be rusty is the other question.
Yep.
They haven't played in a long time.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's a long time. Second down, 5. Bush.
Yeah, that's an unusual play call with Reggie Bush lining up outside and then running back into the traffic. Notre Dame was ready for him there.
Puts the ball on the 39. It'll be 3rd down and 3. The game was a sellout, which guaranteed USC an attendance record for the year. Now, how many didn't come because of the rain? I can't begin to tell you. But there were somewhere in the neighborhood of 88,000 tickets. So that pass is short, bounces incomplete. Dominique Byrd seemed to be the intended receiver. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 3. And I see no sign at the moment that Pete Carroll's going to go for this one.
No, I think he wants to pin the Irish deep in their own end and let his defense take over. SC in their last 3 games against Notre Dame. In 2002, they scored 30 unanswered points. 2003, 31 unanswered points. And tonight, 31 unanswered points against Tyrone Willingham's team.
Tom Malone into punt. He's only punted twice tonight. Give you some idea when he's going to throw the ball. And he does deliver it. And you got a penalty flag thrown because the Irish defender was holding John Walker.
Yeah, the Irish defender was looking for the punt. Trying to hold up Walker was Mike Richardson. Tom Malone, a high school quarterback, and Pete Carroll coming with a trick play that works. Not getting the completion, but getting the 15-yard pass interference call. Single coverage on the outside on John Walker by Mike Richardson. And Malone does the right thing, just getting it up in the air. Richardson grabbing Walker, preventing him from getting to this ball. Good call, pass interference against the Irish.
And it's 1st down USC at the 23 on the Notre Dame side of the field. You know, the margin of victory was allegedly taken away in the BCS, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Have to qualify everything these days.
Okay, got to make it.
Leinart puts it in the end zone for Mitchell. That's a touchdown.
Just the 2nd career touchdown for the senior Jason Mitchell. Leinart throwing the bomb on the first play after the penalty. His 5th touchdown pass, ties a career record, also ties an opponent record against Notre Dame. Here is Mitchell against Dwight Ellick. Mitchell, clean play, did not push off with that left hand, adjusted to the ball and made the catch.
Killeen's point, good. 6:57 to play. It's now 41-10. So 3 successive years Southern California has scored in the 40s against the Irish. Well, this one is Chick Hearn. The late Chick Hearn used to say at the Laker broadcasts when it seemingly was decided that it's in the refrigerator. Well, I think this one is close to getting there at least. It's raining again quite hard. But USC has just simply taken control of the ball game, and they lead 41-10 with 6:57 to play.
Happy Jason Mitchell as he caught Matt Leinart's 5th touchdown tonight. 400 yards passing for Matt Leinart.
The record most ever was by Carson Palmer at 435. Hanging up in the rain, taken by Carlos Campbell. And Carlos comes up across the 25. Ball comes out.
I think Carlos got back on it, Keith. Beat a couple of Trojans to it after he fumbled that ball.
I think they eventually rooted it out of bounds, so that would make it Irish possession since they held it last.
Actually ran into his own man. Desmond Reed can't get it, and there goes number 6 after it, Carlos Campbell.
79 yards in 7 plays.
So the Irish keep it and will possess it at the 26.
Scoring on a 23-yard touchdown pass.
And they line up with Darius Walker as your tailback. And 3 wide to the top of the picture with 1 coming back. That's the tight end, Pisano. Throw it to the right side, and it is thrown behind Rayma McKnight, and it's incomplete.
Brady Quinn had such a good start to this ball game when he completed 6 out of 7 on that opening drive. But he's now 13 of 24 and for just 97 yards. Ball's just been a little bit off target since that great start.
They might be missing a little speed at wideout, with the exception of Shelton. He seems to be the only one that really possesses deep ball, big ball speed, big play speed. Walker, as a freshman, very sound for his future. They're probably a little short of speed in their secondary if you're looking forward to next year, and I'm sure they'll deal with that as best they can. Did they say that they've had it's been hard to find big cornerbacks?
Yeah. And I think part of the problem, Keith, is that when you play against a team that has so many weapons, that even if you play zone, that they have the ability to catch the ball and run through the zone for big plays, as SC's done tonight.
Out of the shotgun, Brady Quinn lets it go, and it is out of bounds, incomplete. Running under it, Carlisle Holiday, and well covered by Terrell Thomas. A lot of people getting into this ball game for Southern California tonight.
You know, if this score holds, Keith, this will be 3 years in a row that SC has beaten Notre Dame by 31 points. In fact, in that great game back in 1974, 55-24, do the math, Keith.
Yep. Off the side of his foot. But there's no return, so the net's not bad. It's down to the 34-yard line.
You know, Keith, let's go back to that incredible game and listen to my favorite announcer.
Here's the kick. McLaughlin knocks it high and deep. And Davis, 2 yards deep in the end zone, will bring it back. The wedge gets him to the 20. He breaks it at the 25. He's long gone at the 40. It's now a foot race, and here goes Anthony Davis for 102 yards and a touchdown.
That was back when I was limber and had volume.
Sounded great to me. Long gone at the 40, huh?
Matt Castle is in at quarterback now for the Trojans.
Ball start, offense, number 73.
Don't change the subject, though, Keith. Let's go back to that game.
First down.
I understand that there was a real feeling of electricity, especially after that run back.
It was an incredible, it gripped the whole stadium. Pat Hayden said that he had never in his whole life felt like that. That if that was the feeling of momentum, the whole team truly felt it on that night. And it spread throughout this great big old arena. Herschel Dennis is the deep back now for the Trojans, as Castle getting some playing time. And if something should happen to Leinart, he's got to play. So he needs to get his feet wet. But it was an uncanny thing where you could have such a complete change and have it remain that way for the entirety of the ballgame.
55 unanswered points, 6 touchdowns scored by Anthony Davis.
Well, basketball, like many other sports, is played in surges. Football even is played in surges. You go for a while, then you got to ease up a little bit and give the other guys a chance and reinstall some adrenaline in your system. But not that night. It all stayed on one side.
And in this game tonight, we've seen SC come out almost sleepwalking in that first quarter.
Yep.
They got into one of those surges, and it's still going on.
I'll tell you what, man, I know that the guys who are watching in the other parts of the country will probably howl and kick the ottoman when I say this, but I'm not so sure that the California Bears aren't about as good as anybody in the country.
Well, they're the only team in the country that ranks in the top 5, both in defense and in total offense.
Yep.
The only team.
I think they're pretty good. In fact, I know they're pretty good. That ball is thrown complete to William Buchanan. Willie Buchanan's son makes that catch and move it up.
Let's go back and check out Cal against SC 7 weeks ago. J.J. Arrington over 100 yards. Aaron Rodgers completed 23 passes in a row, but could not complete this one on 4th and goal. And SC escapes with a 6-point win over against the 4th-ranked Cal Bears.
The Bears, where they impress me is along the front, both offensively and defensively. I mean, you get in there with those big guys and you come out with lumps on you. Penalty flag. That's a low line drive punt. Carlisle Holiday watches it bounce, and it bounces where he can pick it up and run with it. And he'll run it across the field and go out of bounds up around the 28-yard line. The attendance tonight is 92,611. So that means the University of Southern California has a new attendance record, and it's got to be somewhere in the middle 80,000.
Less than 7 men on the line of scrimmage on the kicking team. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and it remains 4th down.
Second penalty of the night. In fact, second penalty of this drive against Carroll's Trojans. That'll give them something to yell about in the meetings next week. We lost our poise there, boys.
Well, he's quite an uncommon fellow. It's been a very interesting thing to watch him operate and how he's gone about building what he has built. And what he has built is pretty good looking stuff, I'll tell you that. But he doesn't let things that have happened in the past nag at him. They go on about their business getting ready for the next one. And he's able to sell that. And he demands it and he gets it.
And how about giving athletic director Mike Jarrett some credit for hiring him in the first place? Not exactly the most popular choice when it happened.
No, it wasn't.
Is now.
There's Malone hanging it up in the air for Carlisle Holiday. He's going to try to run it back and run into some grief at about the 34-yard line.
Carlisle Holiday took the butt.
The crowd, I gave you the crowd a moment ago. Well, that's part of the story, but that's also something that Pete Carroll knows about, thinks about, and talks about.
It's exciting for the state of California to turn out with that kind of fans, you know, that kind of showing. We'll come back next week, you know, at the Rose Bowl against UCLA with another 90-something thousand. And it's really exciting to be around college football in the West and to see it with that kind of following.
But you got to remember that everything in every sport I've ever been around is cyclical. And you got your ups and you got your downs. And right now, Tyrone Willingham and his Trojans are in a bit of a down. But I don't reckon they'll stay there. Here's Todd Harris.
Keith, this is what they're playing for, the ADT National Championship Trophy. It's raining out here, but they've told me this $30,000 crystal ball, it won't hurt it. But you make a good point about cyclical, because both of these are very storied programs. We first of all look at Notre Dame. Now, this team has gone with 802 total wins, 7 Heisman winners, 22 undefeated seasons, and 11 national titles. And for the USC Trojans, not bad, 717 overall wins, 5 Heisman winners, 7 undefeated season, and 10 national titles. That's a lot of hardware, but I think Coach Carroll is going to take this one home on January 4th.
Well, he's going to go have a heck of a fight about it.
$30,000 trophy's worth fighting for. It's waterproof, too.
I got one of those, little bitty guy.
You do?
Yes, miniature. I kick it around every once in a while.
I bet you do.
42-yard line now for the Irish. 2 minutes to play in the ball game. 41-10. USC leading. And this is Marcus Wilson going to the outside. Marcus Wilson is a senior out of Staten Island, New York, getting some playing time. The Chevrolet players of the game tonight are for Notre Dame, number 4, Ryan Grant. And for USC, not too hard to guess, huh? Matt Leinart. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Ryan Grant, 94 yards rushing tonight. He was the primary weapon, successful weapon at least, for Notre Dame. Matt Leinart, 24 out of 34, 400 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And he dealt those passes to 10 different receivers.
Quinn's pass is thrown behind the receiver up the middle of the field, Samaja, and he could not reel it in.
I think I was most impressed with Leinart's leadership ability in that second quarter. He got the team under control after they had a miserable start, fell behind to Notre Dame, but didn't allow his team to stay down. Hung in the pocket strong, made a couple of wise moves on the run, kept things going, and finally got his team headed in the right direction.
Shelton, who has spin control tonight, down on the near side, and they run the ball. The issue has been resolved. Travis Thomas carries there. Marcus Wilson, Ryan Grant, Darius Walker, and now Thomas. That's 4 tailbacks they've had in the ball game tonight. And of the group, Grant's graduating, so is Wilson, but Walker is just a freshman. You will get acquainted with him.
And he's a good one. He showed us a lot tonight. Good strong effort in Ryan Grant's final game against the Trojans.
His final game period, I believe. He's a senior, graduating senior.
Yep.
Quinn throws again behind the receiver. Brady Quinn, incidentally, is only a sophomore, so he'll be back next year as a ranking member of the quarterback corps in the country as a junior. "35 seconds remaining, Dan. Sum this thing up."
Well, you know, we've given a lot of credit to the offense of SC tonight, but defensively, they shut down Notre Dame after that opening drive, giving up just 300 yards in total offense to the Irish. So it's another total team win for the top team in the country.
And as they change possession of the ball, the clock stops with 25 seconds. Our thanks to everybody. Kelly Hayes and Mark Ameno are off to Green Bay. Have a nice trip. Take your Woolies. Monday Night Football.
Pete still got quickness there. He got away from most of that water, didn't he?
Yep.
Welcoming back Steve Smith, coming back from a broken leg. What a night he had. 4 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown.
Well, he's an easy guy to like. And there's the old quarterback mark on Leinart. The patched chin. Somebody got him tonight. So
that's why you grow a beard, Keith. And some of them scars.
Yeah. If you don't have a scar on your chin, you haven't been a real quarterback. The clock's going to roll out here as the University of Southern California Trojans have defeated the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame by a score of 41-10 at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And so the team that has been ranked #1 in the country will surely continue in that position. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports, and Monday night, join Al Michaels and John Madden as the Rams battle the Packers on Monday Night Football on ABC Sports. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television. We hope you enjoyed it.